Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we are featuring the puzzle 3 in the Spotlight. Now, there's a few reasons why I picked this puzzle for today. First off, another fantastically rated puzzle on Logic Masters Germany. I believe it's 92%. I don't know what the constructors are doing recently, but they're just knocking it out the park with, one puzzle after another. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Now, the second reason is this is another puzzle by Flinty, who actually was the constructor behind the Sycamore Gap tree, which I featured a couple of days ago. And I'm feeling a little bit guilty that I was, slightly less than complimentary towards the end of the video. And, in hindsight, I'm thinking the constructors are doing an absolutely bang-up job. They're giving us these fantastic puzzles for free to just enjoy in our free time. So please accept my apologies, Flinty, and I'm absolutely looking forward to this particular puzzle. Now, lastly, and I think this is the biggest reason, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the meme that Cracking the Cryptic have done around the letter 3. Now, I think it started from a puzzle a year or two ago, where it was essentially a play on words of the song Losing My Religion by REM. So rather than having the lyrics, that's me in the corner, it's now 3 in the corner. And that's very much, this particular puzzle is a homage to this meme, which I think we're all going to enjoy. Now, I've tried, without landing myself in any kind of copyright hot water, to replicate sort of the video of that particular song. So you've got Sleuth with angel wings, you've got a bright spotlight sort of shining on him, and a dark room all around. I think that's as dare as I can get. This is as close as I can dare to get without landing in a bit of trouble. So, enough of an intro. Let's take a look at the puzzle. We've got That's 3 in the Spotlight by Flinty, and you've got REM here in Thermos right in the middle. You've got the R, the E, and the M, and that's why I feel reasonably confident that it's got to be a homage to this meme. And you've got 3s here, 3s in the quads, 3s again. I think I'm interpreting this one correctly. So let's take a look at the rule sets. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So that means the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and every 3x3 box. That's clearly not part of the 3x3, that's a 3x3 box. We also have thermometers. Digits along a thermometer must increase starting at the bulb end. So just literally think of these as thermometers, although sometimes they're very weird thermometers in the sense that they have 2 stems coming out of the same bulb. But the idea is digits must be increasing along that thermometer. So if that's a 4, for example, that's going to be 5 or higher. If that's a 5, that's going to be 6 or higher. 6 or higher. And so on and so forth for all the thermos in here. Now, I'm going to interpret this as a thermometer, and this is another one, and this is another one. And I'm going to do the same here, that this is 1, 2, 3. I think these ones are fairly obvious in that they're just a single straight line. We have Kropki dots, so cells separated by a white dot, of which we only have 1, are consecutive in value. So, for example, imagine this is a 2. This would be 1 or 3 to be consecutive to the 2. Now, continuing with the same example where we have a black dot, and black dots have values in 2 to 1 ratios, that would mean this is either a 1 again, because 1 times 2 is 2, or a 4, 2 times 2 is 4. Not all dots are given. We have Little Killers Skyscrapers. So the digits outside the grid are both Little Killers and Skyscrapers. So along the diagonal indicated that digits must sum to this total. So this 3, for example, is saying these 2 cells must sum up to 3, and this 3 is doing the same as well. Now, the second part of this particular rule is it indicates the number of buildings that can be seen from that perspective orthogonally. So the idea is to sort of imagine yourself, you're standing where the 3 is, looking kind of down this particular grid. And the digits along here indicate the height of the building. And what would be a good way, for example? So think of this as the number of stories. If you're looking down this, you will see the 4-story building. You will see the 7-story building because it's taller. You'll see the 9-story building because it's also taller than the 7. But you won't see the 8 because it's shorter than the 9 and therefore it's covered by it. And the idea is, how many buildings can you see in total? It must add up to 3. All right. Now I think one last rule, which is the quadruple. So digits in circles, which is a 3 again, must appear at least once in the surrounding 2 by 2 area. So somewhere within these quads of cells is essentially, a 3 somewhere in here, or as well as, not or, as well as a 3 somewhere in here as well. Well, there's plenty of rules, and we've got 0 digits in the grid, so Flinty feels confident this is all the information that we need. Now, if you feel like paying homage to this meme as well, link is in the description down below to play along. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, these thermos are incredibly long. So I don't really want to, but I'm sort of tempted to. These little killer clues are very obvious. 2 cells that add up to 3, it can only be 1 and 2. So, obvious part done. Let's go back to the thermos. So, maximum of 7 here, that's 8 or 9. So, essentially 2 degrees of freedom, 7, 8, 6, 7, 7, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, and 2, 3. Actually, here's a much better thing to do. Because I was just thinking, am I really going to go around and sort of pencil mark all of these? Particularly some of them are, not very long thermometers. And this has already got a lot of degrees of freedom. Let's take a look at box 6. Where does the 1 go? So if 1 is the smallest digit in the list of 1 to 9, if I put a 1 in here, I suddenly need to put a 0, which we know is not allowed under normal Sudoku rules. So 1 can't go halfway up a thermometer, nor this halfway, nor this thermometer. That's the only place that can be a 1. And we get digits 2, 1, 3 of them. Clearly, this is meant to be today. Now, continuing with the same idea, where does 9 go in box 5? If you try and put it, again, halfway up a thermometer, suddenly I need to put a 10 in the next place along that thermal. So that can't be the 9. The 9 has to be at the end of a thermometer. This is the only possible place for a 9. It's tempted to say it's almost, because this, we've got a similar thing going on in box 4, in that none of these now can be 1s, so the 1 must be in here. It's just not restricted enough. So I'm just wondering if I just need to keep thinking about box 6 a bit more. So let's think about the 2. Wherever the 2 is, it needs to have a 1 above it in the bulb. And because this can't be a 1, got a 1 in the column, this can't be a 1, got another 1 in the column, this is the only place that can be a 1, that's the 2, and we're off to a pretty good start. It's almost like you can continue it, almost, I say, because yes, this could be the 3, but the other thing I can have is a 3 there and a 2 there. I can't put a 3 there because I've got a 2 in the column, and this cannot be a 2. So it's almost completed. And the same thing with an 8. I know I can put an 8 in here, or I could put an 8 in either of these with a 9 just beneath it. So it's restricted, but not enough to actually place any digits. Here is something though. Let's take a look at row 3, where can a 2 be? So it's neither of these. We've already pencil marked this. It's not that. We've already pencil marked 1 and 2 in the box. This is way too far away from this bulb. So that's 1, 1 and a quarter, 1 and a third, 1 and a fifth to get to a 2. So that's not, well, sorry, 1.5, pardon me, to get to a 2. So none of these are 2. That's not a 2. That's not a 2. They're, you know, for Sudoku rules, that's the only place a 2 can be. Have we got a similar restriction on the 3? No. Because I can actually put a 3 here now. Despite, you know, this has nothing to do with it. I mean, I can still meet the skyscraper rules if I put a 3 in there. So tempting to say that's the 3, but it's not necessarily true. And because this is now confirmed to be a 2, either of these could be a 3. Which is unfortunate. I want to just keep thinking, you know, I may go down the route of just pencil marking everything if I'm not continuing to spot obvious rules from the geometry of this. So I may go down that route, I admit. I'm just trying to think where else I can place digits, or at least, you know, highly restricted positions anyway. I mean, this thermo is equally long. So, I mean, 2 degrees of freedom I'm willing to pencil mark. And that's actually a very good idea. Because now take a look at this in row 3. These are a quintuple. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 occurring between 5 cells, meaning this is 3 or 4 now. And actually, I can go a step further. This is the only place that the 5 could be, because, you know, there were no 5s pencil marked in any of these. 5 here is very helpful, because that's 4, 3, 2, 1. There are no degrees of freedom there. No 1 in here is also very helpful. Look at all of these degrees of freedom that have disappeared and continue to disappear. That's the only place a 6 can be in row 3 now. Let's think about, yeah, there you go. Because that's no longer a 2. Well, we've had a 2 looking at it. None of these are 2. None of these are 2. That's not a 2. There's a 2 looking at it. That's now a 1-2 pair. And take a look at this. Where does... No. I was very tempted to say for a second, where does 8 and 9 go? It can only be in here, but that's not true. I still have a cell. This is not quite a complete set. Well, I've got 2s. I've got that 2 looking at this. That was staying there for a while. That's a 2, that's a 1. Fabulous. Got all the 2s in here. 1 must be very restricted by now. That's not a 1, that's a 1. Very good. Look at that. These 1s, this 1, kind of giving us this shape. That's the 1. I must be able to, yeah, that's all the 1s done. I mean, that's 2 in here. Whoops. Just having a think. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 actually staring at this Kropki dot. So this is either 6 or 8 only, meaning this is either 3 or 4. 3 could be adjacent to a 2. I mean, yeah, all of these are valid actually. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not too convinced about the 3, by the way. We know that there's a 3 in here because the 3 has eliminated both of these. That 3 is looking up here. That's a 4. That's a 3. Remember, we used to have these corner pencil marks for the 3s. That 3 is taking a look at this one. That's the 3. 4 is not here. 4 could be... I'm very tempted to say it can only be here, because it can't be there. If I have a 4 in here, that has to be a 3. If I have a 4 in here, that's 3.5. So this is a 4 for sure. Therefore, this is a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, and 9. That's all the degrees of freedom gone. 7. Lovely puzzle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 7 and 8. Both are allowed in here. There is no way an 8 works in there. Yeah, 8, 9, that doesn't work. 8, 9 also doesn't work. This is 4, 7. And this is an 8. Now, one of these, whichever one is the 7, that's an 8, 9 run. Same is true in here. What else do we know? So I still need to place another 3, 4, and an 8 and a 9. Too many options still. Yeah, too many options. I mean, this is 5, 6, or 8, all of which is allowed. And yeah, same is true in here, 5, 6, 8. Actually, I did say one of these has to be an 8, therefore this is not an 8. Which actually means this has to be the 8, because there's no 8 otherwise in this row. Row 4. So we need to finish this off with 5, 6, and 9 by the looks of things. 5, 6, 9. That's not a 6. There's a 9 in here for sure. This is now 3, 4, and 9. Clearly this is not a 3 or a 4 because it's higher than a 6. We need a higher digit, so that's the 9. That's the 3, 4. We've got 5, 6, and 8. So the 8 is staying in there. We have 5, 6, and a 7. That's the 7. That's 5 or 6. So we've got a 5, 6, 9 sort of triplet in here. That looks correct. One of these is a 9. We remember that. Take a look at this skyscraper. 9, 7. Notice I need to have something that is higher than the 4. An 8's not available, but lower than the 7. So this is, this has to be higher than the 4, but lower than 7. So this is 5 or 6. And therefore this is, no, 3 is not available. It's going to say 3, 5, but that's not true. This is 5, this is 6. This is a 3, 7 pair now. We've got, yeah, that's correct. We've got 3s, that's got to be a 2 now. Meaning, if memory serves, the 2 has to be in here. We've got essentially this 2, this 2, this 2, kind of forming this shape now around this box. And this we should be able to actually replace with 3 and 8. It's too early to, so I mean this couldn't have been the 9. I'm blind. This skyscraper is saying that it needs to see 3 digits, and I always maintained one of these is a 9. This could have never been a 9, otherwise it can only see one building. So that's the 9, that's the 8, that's the 7, that's the 4, and that's another 5, 6 pair, 3, 4 pair. That's all solid. Now we need digits that are leading up to the 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are all not available. 5 wouldn't be available. So this is 6 or 7, and therefore this is 7 or 8. Wow. One of these is a 3. This can't be a 3 because that would require a 2 in here. So really, one of these is a 3. Therefore, that's an 8. That's a 3. Just taking a look, what am I missing really? So 1, 2, 3, this could be 4. Highest digit I can place in here would be an 8. 7 is not available, 6 is not available. This is 4 or 5. This is 5, 6, or 8. I think I'm sure with all of these now, there's clearly something I can do. If that's 8, 4, that would make this 5, 6, which is actually fine. 8, 4, 5, 6. That would have to be a 3. Breaking the puzzle, because I don't have a 3 in here. You know, one of these two cells needs to be a 3. If I put a 3 in here, that breaks it. So let me show you, because it might not be obvious otherwise. 8 and 4, that becomes 5, that becomes 6. I need something that's adjacent to the 4. That can have only been a 3 because the 5 is no longer available. Now how do I satisfy this quad? So that is now definitely a 6, a 3, a 2, or 4. That's a bit of a shame. 6 or 3, well, that's not 6 anyway. I mean, it's not 5 either, so it's 2 or 4. I was kind of hoping this would resolve, but it's not. What I tell you does resolve, though, is this 7 is eliminate, you know, there's basically nowhere else I can put a 7 except in here. And up there I need an 8 and 9. And now I'm left with actually quite a few options. It's 2, 4, 5, 8, and 9. Too many options actually. 3 in here means this is now the 3. What am I missing? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 6 can't be in here. This is the only place that can be a 6. That's a 5. Got 4, 5, 7, and 8. That's 4, 5, and 7. Can't be an 8. Unfortunately, there are 2 places for the 8. This 5 gives me this 6. That's not a 6. This is now a 5, 9 pair. This is now a 6 as well. How are these not resolved? I just don't get it. So 2, 4, 5, and 9. This is 2, 4, not 5, and not 9. So we've got a 2, 4 pair. Therefore, that's the 5, that's the 9, that's the 5, that's the 8, that's the 7, that's the 4, 3, 4, 7, 3. Well, and there's a 3 in the corner. So we've got 2, 4, and 9. 2 is not here. This is 4 or 9, not resolved. This is any of them, also not resolved. We've got 2, 4, I'm guessing another 2, 4, and I'm guessing a 2, 4. No 9s though. What is the missing digit? A 3. This can only be a 3 in here. It's the only place for it because of this 3. And therefore this is another 2, 4. Don't need the corner pencil marks anymore. I think we basically used all the clues at this point. Yeah, it's just straightforward Sudoku at this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to finish this column. Let me do that. 7 is here. Can't be anywhere else. 6 is here. Where's the 5? Anywhere. Where's the 9? Also anywhere. Okay. This is 2, 4, 5, or 9. It's not. It's only 4 or 5. 2, 4, 5, 9. Yep, that's all the options. Still too many. What else are we missing? We're missing an 8, which could only be in here. And this is 4 or 5, which unfortunately doesn't help us resolve any of these. Let's keep going. We need in the column a 6, which can only be in here. A 4 or 5 still not resolved. This is fighting every step of the way. We need another 4, 5, and an 8. Unresolved. We should be able to resolve these, surely. We've got a 7 and a 9, which will give us, should give us quite a few things now, finally. And this is 2 or 4. No, not a 2. This is a 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 5, 8. This 4 will unwind everything, I imagine. This is a 2, a 4, a 5, and if I've not made any mistakes, a 9, and the solution to today's puzzle. Absolutely fabulous puzzle. I mean, it's a lovely tribute for sure. It is very much 3 in the spotlight. And I mean, I just loved the way that the thermometers were sort of bouncing you around. I mean, how we basically got both of these 1-2s just by paying attention to what these thermos are doing, which gave us this 1-2, paying attention to row 3, and essentially these 1-2s, which gave us these 2 as well, is just love it. Well, thank you very much for the puzzle, Flinty. This was a phenomenal puzzle, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you back for the next one. Bye for now.